don't even know how to start this video because it's so not like my typical beauty videos. I don't know, like last night me and the girls put up the tree, as you can see behind me, because I wanted to at least feel the Christmas spirit, because you know, in a way it will help me get through what it is I'm about to do. For those wondering, today is Sunday the 1st of December, and last week I would have made an announcement that I am going to do surgery on Tuesday, which is basically in a couple of days time. So like this weekend I was just putting things into place with the girls, you know, and getting like myself hospital ready over the weekend. So that's what I'm doing. I probably wondering what I'm talking about. I'm sure the title of this video is a dead giveaway. I'm having a complete thyroidectomy done this Tuesday. Just to give a little backstory, because ever since I started YouTube, for those who follow, my neck has been pretty swollen, but I would say in the past year and a half it has been more swollen than when I started. And I would get some comments regarding my neck. I've gotten it in lives in the group where people were being completely rude and insensitive. You know, it's not something that I have any control over, and they would say some really rude things, you know. And then there were those who gave the unsolicited advice, which still in my opinion is still rude, because you know, you don't know the person who you're sending a message to, and a very public message to, you know. But anyways, getting back to, so you can see it here. This is it here. The entire thyroid is swollen. However, the right side is more swollen than the left. And because of the swelling now, it has become an issue for me breathing and swallowing. So basically this year, you know, I said, you know what, it has to come out, because there was a night I was sleeping and like, I don't know, for some reason I got up gasping. So I decided to go and get it checked out, because it was unusually large that like the following day. So went to the doctor, went to the hospital, got some tests done, because the thing about your thyroids, you have to like determine whether they're functioning or not in order to get the proper diagnosis. And I just want to disclaim one time, I am not a doctor. I'm just giving my experience in it. So the experience right now is pre-surgery, you know, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm scared. Like, and I'll get to that part. So they did test, they did a sonogram on the area to determine how large it is and what exactly, you know, is causing it. So when they did the ultrasound, they noticed some nodules were very enlarged, right? And if I remembered from the report, like the one on the right in particular, which is this one that you see in here, that's kind of showing up swollen. They said it was just under the threshold for being suspicious, so it was like mildly suspicious. And in medical terms, mildly suspicious means a possibility for cancer. So of course, you know, that had me freaking out a lot, because it's like, cancer runs in my family. What if, you know? And then, well, they did a thyroid function test. The thyroid function test came up normal, meaning my thyroid, despite the fact that it is swollen, is functioning properly, you know. And I guess you could go and research what the thyroid is and why it's so important in your body. And even before I had this happen to me personally, I knew about this because this is something that runs in my family, so it's genetic. My mom had her thyroids completely removed. My brother had treatment for his thyroids. I have a cousin who got treatment for their thyroids as well. So, you know, as a, you know, saying more or less it's genetic. So it's not, I don't want to dispel whoever out there want to come with the unsolicited advice. It's not a lifestyle disease in so much as I'm not eating a balanced diet or anything like that. I eat pretty well, as a matter of fact. I love vegetables, you know, and I get my iodine, so I don't have an iodine deficiency, you know, because I've gotten all the unsolicited advice with people not knowing exactly what was wrong and what was causing it. I mean, as much as it is somewhat kind of appreciated, it's not really, because you're not really helping. I think probably the best advice I got ever as a result of this is go check a doctor, because at the end of the day it's the doctor who would be in a better position to, you know, advise. So getting back to the story, so the thyroid function test, the T cells, that's what they call it, came back normal. So when I went to my doctor, he said basically, you know, your thyroid is functioning well. It just seems that you have nodular goiter, right? And nodular goiter is pretty common. It's just your nodules just growing out of sync, you know. I wouldn't know exactly what's causing them to grow out of sync until they remove it and do a biopsy on it. So I really can't diagnose that, but I do know it's that. And he was explaining that because your thyroid gland, and it's like a butterfly gland in your throat that like is above your esophagus and vocal cords, under the muscle, under the skin. He was like, because your thyroid gland is so very vascular, meaning we have a lot of blood vessels, they can't take out the actual nodule because it will cause a lot of hemorrhaging, bleeding, you know. So he said, because my thyroid gland on a whole is so enlarged, I mean, they could take out the right lobe, but then there's a risk that the left lobe, if it remains, could continue growing, and then I'd have to go back and remove that. So he recommended that I do a complete thyroidectomy on it. So I consented. So like last week I went in to sign up all the consent forms, and as a legal practitioner, I could appreciate them running through all the risk involved in doing a complete thyroidectomy, because it is a standard routine surgery, but with all things there's risk involved. So he was giving me the risk, which first and foremost is I can be allergic to the anesthetic. You know, he said worse yet, if the patient has like health complications, it could, if you don't treat with those health complications, could exacerbate the situation, and the patient could like have a heart attack on the operating table, or a stroke, or just a really serious allergic reaction. He indicated that I don't have any health issues other than this, so I'm a very healthy patient, so they don't reasonably foresee, you know, those risks running. And then he indicated that of course the other risk is hemorrhaging, which again, if you're cutting, it's an invasive surgery, there's always a risk you run, you know. So that one, he said, because the surgery is very localized in the head and neck area, they have to identify the vocal cords, right? Because if they aren't careful, they could run the risk of bruising the vocal cords or cutting it. He said if it's bruised, like one side of the vocal cords is bruised or whatnot, my voice could be very hoarse, and I mean, I can't really picture my voice any deeper than what it is right now. It's kind of freaky. But he said if it's cut, I lose my voice completely. And for me, that is like very scary as well, because my voice is one of my working tools in order for me to make a living. You know, I give advice, legal advice, you know, I offer legal arguments. So the thought of me not being able to speak, this is separate apart from not waking up, is very scary. Like, I could only hope and pray that on the day everything goes smoothly and there is no issues. He also indicated too, because I mean, what you see here is the thyroid going out, but the thyroid also grows inward. So it could be pushing on the trachea, which is the windpipe. And because it could be pushing on it, it could compromise the cartilage area that supports your trachea, and upon removal your trachea could collapse, and you have to do what they call a tracheometry, whatever the term is, where they have to cut a hole in your throat so you could breathe. That is the next thing. I'm like, Lord Father, I hope that don't happen, because that will freak me out. So I kind of like made my peace with you know, the risk involved. um, I'm just hoping and praying that again it's a standard surgery, nothing goes wrong, the doctors are able to do what they went in to do without any issues. um, so yeah, basically that is what I am doing on Tuesday, you know. And because I'm completely removing my thyroids, then I would fall in the class of hypothyroidism, where you're not producing any T cell thyroid hormones to help with your body functions, obviously, because they will be completely removed. So because of that, I have to be on thyroid medication for the rest of my life. And this is where I indicate that is something I know and is not new to me, because my mom had to do that. So as a child, I knew when she took out her thyroids, I knew every day for as long as I remembered, she took medication for it to regulate the function of her organs. And I'd have to take also calcium tablets too, because they say sometimes your parathyroid glands reside in your thyroid. You might be lucky enough to still have some throughout your body, but there's a risk that in removing your thyroids, you know, you could remove your parathyroids and they help release and manage your calcium. And if you take that out, you wouldn't have anything to manage and release your calcium, and what will happen is you'll suffer bone loss, which is another thing that's serious. So I might have to be on calcium tablets as well, which, I mean, being on the medication, as much as I'm not a like pills person, because I've started like a regimen of taking supplements, it's not all that bad. It's a better trade-off than if I had to get up gasping for air, because like right now I'm feeling a little bit short of breath just talking, you know, and I've only been talking for 18 minutes here, you know. So yeah, so that's basically it. I will do hopefully a check-in after the surgery, and I could probably get into the nitty-gritties of the my experience with the actual surgery and the aftercare, you know, because I know it has some people watching this. It might help somebody, you know, especially somebody who is living in Trinidad and Tobago, because of all the thyroid videos that I've researched, it's usually people from the States talking about it, and their healthcare system is completely different from us in Trinidad. And because of that, I didn't have much to go on in terms of like researching, you know, doctors, researching healthcare facilities. So I would have had to like speak to people who experience it themselves to get good feedback. So yeah, this video is already really long. So God spare life, I will come back and tell you how that goes, you know. And for anybody who is going through it right now, you are not alone. There are a lot of people who deal with it, you know. How you choose to deal with it is your right. No one should tell you how and what treatment to seek. You should know what's best for you, and let that be a guide to the people who are WebMDs. I would say kind of pull back a little bit because it's a sensitive area. It's a very private thing. I mean, I am sharing mine because I choose to share, but there are a lot of people who don't, and it's not your place to tell them what they should do and point out things to them. It's respect that person's privacy, because I don't think you would want your medical history, info, whatnot out there, especially if you don't want it to be. So yeah, so basically that is it for this video. I will just put this up. I doubt I'll do much editing because I really want you all to experience, real life in terms of how I feel, what it's about. Hopefully I could come back and give you more information that could really help you in terms of, like I said, the doctors and the healthcare facilities and the aftercare treatments, and probably show you the incision as well. Hopefully that does not trigger people. There are a lot of things I realize being on the internet triggers people, so yeah, so that's basically it. I will talk to you guys another time. Bye.